Hello and welcome to the League of Legends Blacksmith. Today I'm going to be talking about Xayah and I will try to go through every little aspect of her and her kit, although I will not include her lore. This is the ultimate Xayah guide. First off, we need some info about Xayah. Xayah is under the role marksman, which for the most part plays in the bottom lane. Xayah is no different from others in that point. So it doesn't have a very high skill cap, but she still requires some sort of skill to play. A new player can't just jump into a game with Xayah and carry. A Xayah player that knows what she's doing can be a nightmare in both lane and team fights. Xayah is a hyper carrier, so she can easily turn around games. With the right support, you can almost 2v5. You know, if you think that sounds cool and want to try it, this guide will help you get to the point when you can almost solo carry games. Xayah's abilities is all built around her unique feathers. If you don't know her abilities, you should probably close this video, go to the League of Legends website. This is a guide for this is a guide for players that knows about the game and just wants to fight a main. No pun intended. Xayah's feathers can be one of the most terrifying things in League. They do tons of damage and they can change team fights. If your opponent doesn't know how to play around the feathers, you already have a big advantage. Now, we're going to talk about the build. You want to start the game with a Thorn Shield or Longsword for the most parts. If you have enough gold to buy a BL sword on your first back, you have to buy it. It's so good against with the wave clear against heavy pushers. If you don't have the gold, or you somehow got to base before 1300 golds, buy Berserker boots or Dagon boots. Not many situations would I buy long swords, because you will never get anywhere with it, if you know what I mean. It feels like you will never get your first item. The first item you should build should always be Storm Racer. Then some will go for Rapid Fire Cannon, but I really prefer to go Phantom Dancer. After that you should go Borg or IE. It doesn't really matter what order it is in. But you need both of them. The last item is probably MS, but sometimes you can go Hurricane or Frozen Mallet. And as always, when you hit level 13, you need to buy the blue trinket. Although Xayah is not a very mobile champion, she has a very powerful laning phase. As of your support, you would always love a Rakran or Brand. They both have the same amount of pressure and you fit really well together. In lane, it's about knowing your opponent's moves. If an Ezreal or Lucian makes a stupid engage with their E, you go in. If they then have no mobility, you need to get that root. And if you have a Rakran or Brand, they can use the CC after your root. And if your support has Ignite, which they should in this meta, it's almost a free kill. If not, they will almost always use a flash or heal to get away. Your laning phase is about knowing your opponent's mistakes. Of course, you can also go in if your support lands a combo, but that's not going to happen very often in this meta right now. The ADCs have a lot of mobility at the moment, so that's also makes Xayah a bit of an underdog. So Xayah's laning phase is just about waiting for the right moment to strike. In the mid lane, in the mid game, you'll be surprised over how much you can chase an opponent with just a Storm Rager and Phantom Dancer if you're playing your laning phase right. Xayah is very good at taking dragons and barons. Her feathers are so strong against creatures, it's like having 2 smites on your team. And in late game fights, I would actually recommend you make sure that every marker of your opponent is on you. Then you want to Q for the feathers to set up a big root. W to get the movement speed with the flat footwork and the attack speed, and then you need to hit an enemy at least once. Then you have all the feathers for a root. And then they will probably engage on that free Xayah standing in the middle of the fight. And that's the point where you strike. You either just flash E to get the root, or you alt E to get a lot of more feathers. If you don't have alt, you need to do the other one. Of course, the root deals more damage, And if you then have a Rakan or Brand to follow up, the team fight is pretty much won. Yeah, it sounds a bit too easy, right? Well, if your team lands some CC before you root, it's really that easy. And sure, if you're Series 20, that's not how it goes. I hope you have learned something about Xayah the Rebel. Peace out.